Here we go.
Yes, people. How's it going? How is everyone doing today on another episode on Eagle Talks Football? Today, we're going to be talking about David Raya to Arsenal is a done deal. Fabrizio Romano giving us the here you go. How you feeling, bro? I'm excited. We finally got another signing through the line. And you know what? We now have two keepers. Not one, two keepers that are better than Tottenham's keepers and Chelsea's keepers. I know it's not about them, but it's just funny that, like, I swear Tottenham were after David Raya earlier in the transfer window. And I put him in the intro to the video thinking that Tottenham were going to sign him. But it's funny how the transfer window goes. And Arsenal have now pulled off a deal for a player that Tottenham had as one of their number one signings. And we got him for less money than they originally thought we were going to even sell him for. So there you go. Before we go any further, I'm going to make sure everyone knows, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We're gonna do what we got to do. But right now, how you feeling, bro? How are you feeling? How's everyone in the comment section feeling? Do we have the best backup goalkeeper in the league now?
You've got to say we've got the best depth in the league, because when you look at it, like throughout the team, we've got 2-3 starters in each position that can actually come in and take a starting position in most of the top 6. So when you look at David Raya as an example, I've always said it, I think this is a statement of intent that we're going for everything. Whereas before, do you know what it is, right? When we look at someone like Matt Turner, when we looked at Jakub Kiwior, when we looked at the likes of Fabio Vieira, there were always question marks on whether they're good enough to take on like a Martin Odegaard, whether they're good enough to take on, the Gabriel Magalhães or the Saliba role, or, whether, Matt Turner's just as good, or can he be a good backup to, Ramsdale if he got injured. But now it seems like we want to have 2 11s, or we want to be able to kind of rotate the first team, maybe have a few additions in there, like Martin Odegaard might play, but be able to rotate Havertz out, let's say, to play Fabio Vieira in that position, ESR in that position. So yeah, for me, you know what? That's what makes me happy, is that we've seen that, okay, Ramsdale isn't seeing Matt Turner as a threat, but you can't not see David Raya as a threat. He was in the stands and he saved a penalty. Imagine when he's on that bench looking to take your shirt, how good Ramsdale will become. This is all psychological for Arteta. He's always said it. In his team, there can't be anyone who's guaranteed to start.
No comfortability. This is ruthlessness from Mikel Arteta, in the sense that he's basically saying, we are not going to get another backup. We are going to get somebody that pushes you. And that is what we've gotten. So Arsenal have reached an agreement with David Raya with Brentford for David Raya. Here we go. The deal is agreed between Brentford and Arsenal after personal terms last week were agreed. So the documents are being prepared between the two clubs. Medical is booked this week. Raya only wanted Arsenal. Big up to David Raya. He turned down Bayern Munich, turned down Tottenham. You got to love it. And the fee. What was the fee again? Because I'm seeing he signed a 5-year deal. I'm seeing the 5-year deal is sorted. The fee is what is making me laugh. We're getting him for 30 million? The package close to 30 million? Like, do you guys understand? This is an English. He's basically homegrown. He counts towards homegrown, even though he's Spanish. And this is a player who is one of the best keepers last season in the league statistically. We're getting him for 30 million. And this is a guy who Tottenham early in the window, I think they had a £40 million bid turned down, if I'm not mistaken, or something like that.
So they came in. I think they bidded around 30 million, but Brentford rejected that, saying they wanted 40 million. And that's what made them go for Vicario instead. And then obviously we've come in. We offered 20 million initially, didn't want that. Then we offered the 30 million, and obviously the terms were agreed. But that's the difference, though. This is what I say about, perception in the market is everything. We, as a club, every player wants to come to Arsenal. This is what people do not understand and don't want to comprehend. Raya made it clear he wants Arsenal. The minute we said we're interested in signing you, Raya was like, that's all I want. I don't want Bayern Munich. I don't want Spurs. I don't want this team. I want Arsenal. The minute a player comes and says that and has that stance with the club, they don't have a choice but to take a cut price. So it's important that we now build on this and we keep winning and we keep pushing and we actually improve on last season, because those bigger players like Declan Rice, for example, we can get for 90 million instead because they're going to want it more. So, and that's what all it shows. It confirms that a lot of these players are going to make their clubs push for a move for Arsenal, and we can get them at a better deal. And that's what we've gotten.
It just shows that we're back, baby. That's what it shows. It shows that we're back at the top. And big up to everyone in the comment section. We are winning the league. I might cry. Not yet, my friend, but hopefully soon. Here we go, said Fabrizio Romano. Yes, Matt Turner even followed to Nottingham Forest. You know what? Big up Matt Turner. Big up Matt Turner. Because I don't think he's ever said anything wrong. I don't think he's ever put a foot wrong. I think the whole time he's been here, he's been literally given that backup position, and he's been a professional about it the whole time. Don't forget, this is a guy who loves Arsenal. When he first came in, he refused to sign a Tottenham shirt for a fan, and I think somebody said a comment. One of the commenters in the comment section put out a comment that said, "Oh, Matt Turner, he was always a gooner from heart." And it's good to see him at the Community Shield celebrating with the boys. I just wanted to give a shout out to this comment here that somebody sent to us the other day, the 5th of August, like 3 days ago. Bro, this was a really good comment. So basically saying Arsenal fans are treating Matt Turner as if he's dead wood and they want to get rid of him. I don't like that. So I wanted to read this out, and big up to the person who commented this on the channel, because I felt like this is a really good comment. I don't know if you've seen it, Souls, but this was the comment right here. I just want Gooners to remember that Matt Turner was signed, and before he left the USA to come to Arsenal, a Spurs fan asked him to sign a Tottenham shirt, and at the end of the MLS match, and Matt Turner refused. From the jump, he's been loyal to the badge. As much as I welcome David Raya, I will miss Matt Turner, and I wish him the best at Forest, except against us. That I echo that remark, and I felt like this was a really good comment. I just wanted to shout this comment out, and anybody who ever has a really good comment, I'll make sure I do get it shouted out in the throughout a video. But yeah, that was I thought that was something that was worth pointing out. Igal, please like your Muslim. What? I'm confused. Yeah, Souls is Muslim, bro. I'm confused. Why are you asked this last time?
I don't know what he's trying to.
I don't know what he means, but yeah, people do like that video. I just want to point out, rivals are rattled, bro. They're like, they don't know which way to go. Hamza is talking about FFP. You got people saying Ramsdale and thing, how is it gonna work? You have 2 keepers now. I'm like, yeah. Have you not heard of competition for places? Is it only Manchester City who's allowed to have competition for places, or what is up with that? Like, what is this? Is it only a couple teams that are allowed to have competition for places? I'm confused. Since when do you not have competition for places?
No, do you know what it is? I think they've realized, and this is the statement I keep saying: Arsenal aren't back. Arsenal have evolved, and that's the thing they're scared of, because the way we're moving, not even think about it. When's the last time, right, we're willing to spend 40 million to correct? I'm not saying Ramsdale's correcting a mistake, by the way, but I'm just saying, when have we spent 40 million on the same position? We've never done that. Unless that is a bona fide starter, unless we know that player is going to come in and be the starter, we have never spent that kind of money before. Like, even when you look at Leno, that was what, 20 million when we bought him in. Ramsdale was what, 30 million or 25 million. And then we bought Raya for 30 million. And it's like, people can't comprehend the idea that Arsenal's willing to spend money to get to where they want to be. The issue is, what they want to do, they want to use the protest that we had against the Cronkies at the Everton, for the Super League, etc., to actually fix up their ideas. And now that we're back in the Cronkies, they can't bear it, because the message was heard and the Cronkies have responded. Well, Josh Kroenke's responded. But you got to give credit to Stan as well. He's also been involved, but behind the scenes. So they're not used to it. They simply cannot comprehend Arsenal's willing to go big, willing to correct their mistakes, willing to have a competing team. And do you know what it is? I think they're afraid that it might be more than the Premier League we can win. And I think, given enough years, we could be the next team to win the treble.
What? Bro, you're jumping the gun.
No, I said given enough years. I'm not saying we will, but I'm just saying they're seeing the signs of a team that's capable of winning the treble. I'm not saying it's going to happen now. I'm not saying it's going to happen next season. But if we go on this trajectory, you could see it happen in the next 10 seasons. We could be one of the favourites to win the treble.
Wow. We're talking about trebles now?
No, I'm saying no. What I'm saying, listen, like I think you're mishearing what I'm saying.
No.
If we carry on the way we're going,
I'm just choosing to pick out the part that is the most intriguing.
Yeah. Like I don't think it's a hot take personally. I think because the thing is, what you've got to look at, we've spent 30 million pound on Raya, 30 million pound on Ramsdale, right? Saliba was what 30 million. Gabriel Magalhães was 30 million. We spent 20 million on Kiwior. We spent 45 million on Timbers. We spent 50 million on Ben White. We spent 30 million on Tierney. We spent about 35 million on Zinchenko, right? So backup and the starters have cost the same amount of money. Regardless of whether they're holding the bench or whether they're starting, they cost the same money. Now let's move into the midfield. 45 million pounds for one of our starters, 105 million for the other starter. They're going to play the same position. Whether you think they're a 6 or an 8, I don't care. But the point is, they came in as 6s, and that's what 150 million in one place, plus Jorginho for what 15 million. Then when you look at Kai Havertz, for example, 65 million. ESR was an academy player. Fabio Vieira is what 45 million pounds. Look at Martin Odegaard, 30 to 35 million. When you then look at Bukayo Saka, academy, Martinelli, we got fortunate, we got him for so cheap. Gabriel Jesus, 45 million. That's the only position now where we're looking at the likes of Victor Osimhen. We're going to be looking at Vlahovic. We were willing to spend 70 to 90 million on Mudryk. So when you look at it, they're afraid that Arsenal's going to have a few more big seasons in terms of spending and bringing these marquee players. And they don't care whether they have to spend 60 million to bring a bench player in to bring depth to the squad. As long as the players are competing, we're willing to spend the money. And that's what they're scared of.
You want to know something? Arsenal's squad depth is actually insane. And this is if we bring in Kudus, imagine. So I'm just happy we're going to welcome him to the carpet. People, let's not do this Ramsdale versus Raya thing. It's not Ramsdale versus Raya. It's Ramsdale and Raya are at Arsenal. So it's not them competing against each other. It's both of them helping us. And it doesn't matter who is starting. I'm confident with both keeper now. Matt Turner, I wasn't confident with. Imagine we went to Real Madrid away. Are you confident with Matt Turner in goal? I don't know.
No, it would have been Ramsdale. But you know what it is though? People need to think about it in one of two ways. One thing Arteta's always wanted is tactical flexibility. David Raya's long kicking and long passing is better than Ramsdale's, whereas with Ramsdale's a better ball-playing goalkeeper. So when you want to make these short passes, play with the press, that's where like Ramsdale is a lot better. Whereas with David Raya, for example, against City, if you want to ping it to Havertz and for someone to hold it up, David Raya would probably be better suited to be the keeper. So that's what it is. Like, I don't see it as competition. I see it for what it is. It's tactical flexibility. Declan Rice, Thomas Partey, that's tactical flexibility. Bringing Havertz in, again, flexibility. And that's all I see it as. I think Arteta wants as many options so that when games aren't going his way, he can change it with any position on the pitch. If that means bringing a goalkeeper on, I think, one thing, I think is going to be crazy about this season. You could see Ramsdale being subbed off.
Let's just talk about this quickly. Big up my guy here. He's talking about Partey. Now, if you guys don't know, Partey's not going nowhere. So this was the report. Juventus have abandoned their approach, their pursuit for Partey, as they feel a deal is too expensive for the 30-year-old, and it's not going to happen. And this comment here is saying, Iga, what did Partey do to you? ? I think you discovered that Declan Rice is not near as good as Partey and can play in the single pivot. You don't know how to eat humble pie. Now, first of all, I'm not eating humble pie because I don't think there's anything that I said that was wrong. I always said I wanted to keep Thomas Partey. It's just I understood if Arsenal wanted to get rid of Partey. Now, is Partey better than Declan Rice in our system? Yes, he's familiar with it. Is Declan Rice still a more reliable player due to fitness? I agree. I still think Declan Rice is more reliable due to fitness. Are both of them the same at this moment in time? Probably not. You can say Partey's still better. But I think Declan Rice in the future will be the better player. Now, right now, you can still say Partey's the better player. But in the future for us, in that system, I think Declan Rice will figure it out, and Partey is a crucial piece to the puzzle. Now, I don't know why we're always pinning our own players against each other. I don't really care who's better or who you like more. Personally, for me, I'm just happy we have both of them. But hey, if you want to say I'm eating humble pie, I'll eat it. I don't care as long as we win. Who gives a shit? It's not like a Guendouzi situation. I feel like people were prepared for Partey to leave and it to become another Guendouzi situation.
Yeah, that would have been typical Arsenal to like bring a big player in and lose a player. But what we've done is we kept the idea probably was to sell Thomas Partey if a bid big enough came in. But at the same time, like I don't think any fan was like, get rid of Partey. We don't want this guy. Get rid of him. Everyone was like, I understand the reasons for wanting to sell Partey, but at the same time, it might be beneficial to keep him unless we bring. Because look, if we brought Caicedo in and Rice, then I understand why we let Partey go. He's older. He's a bit injury prone, etc. But I don't think any fan was like adamant, like get this guy out of the club type vibe. So I don't know what people are on about.
There you go. Let's talk about this quickly. Yesterday, I don't know, we didn't touch on this too much, but this is strange to me. Kieran Tierney doesn't seem like he's going anywhere, but the Real Sociedad are interested in signing Kieran Tierney on loan. It's actually something that is catching legs, and it doesn't make sense to me. Why would Arsenal favor? Obviously, Arsenal would favor a permanent deal, but why would we loan him away to any club without an obligation to buy or something? Like, I think Kieran Tierney should be part of the squad, but he might not necessarily be starting with the way Timber has played that left back role. It could be a situation where Zinchenko might struggle to even get into the team. Hence why Kieran Tierney might have surplus his requirements.
Do you know what it is, right? Something interesting came out today in terms of Laporte coming to Arsenal. And that kind of made me think maybe there is an outgoing we're not expecting. And for me, that could be Kieran Tierney. The reason why I say that is what Arteta wants to be able to do is potentially invert from either the right or the left when needed. And I don't think Kieran Tierney suits that when we do it from the right-hand side. And what I think he wants to do is bring Laporte in to play sort of the pseudo left back that's going to turn into a three-back. Because Gabriel Magalhães likes to be a wide centre-back in a three when we attack, whereas Laporte is a better central defender.
Oh my God, are you for real, bro?
Yeah, like he's linked to come. And that's the reason why I do think there could be a possibility of Tierney being an outgoing in any capacity.
Is Laporte left-footed?
Yes. He's a left centre back, isn't it?
Wow. This whole time, I was thinking Caviar was going to be the backup. Does that mean
no? But he might be the backup for left back, though, won't he? Like in some capacity, because like we do need to be wary that if an injury in other positions happen, Timbers might need to go back to right back. So yeah, there's always that possibility. But also Timbers could be the inverted right back. And then bring in.
Let me ask everyone in the comment section. What do you guys think? Do you think do you honestly believe we're going to pull off the transfer of Laporte? I cannot fathom that Man City would sell another player to us. I cannot fathom that Man City would allow another player to leave their club to come to ours. Even though Laporte wasn't playing a big part of their team last year, they would not sell him to us. Surely they wouldn't. Do you believe
if the money is right, they will.
So Arsenal have been told, Laporte has been told, Laporte has been told he can leave Manchester City. Tottenham and Arsenal are interested, as the ex-West Ham employee says. What I don't understand is, why don't West Ham go after him instead of Maguire? Now, I would take Laporte in a heartbeat, but because I think he's better than Jakub Kevor at this moment in time, and that's where he would most likely be covering. But in the same breath, is this really going to ever happen? I don't think it's going to materialize. I think it would be in Man City's vested interest to keep him away from Arsenal at this moment in time.
I do think this is a possibility of happening if the money's right. I don't think Man City won't sell to us. I know there's a competitive rivalry there, but if they need to get rid of a player to bring someone in or to balance the books or whatever the case may be, Because the last thing they need is João Cancelo and Laporte to be at the club and both be unhappy. So they may be seeing it from that perspective that Laporte might not want to sit on the bench anymore. He might want a bigger part in the squad. And if he doesn't get that, he's going to kick up a fuss. So they need to balance it out and see how the player's feeling. And if there's any other, because if it's only Tottenham and Arsenal are saying, yes, we will sign you, he's not going to go to Tottenham. That leaves Arsenal open on the table for Man City to have to accept that bid. Otherwise, you're going to have an unhappy player there. So unless someone else comes in, I really don't see why there's zero possibilities or why they wouldn't want to sell. Yes, it wouldn't be like if I was a City board member or whatever, I wouldn't want to. But if that's the only offer on the table, you've got to take it.
Okay. Somebody just asked, Iga, Fabrizio Romano update. Let's check it out. What is the Fabrizio Romano update? It's just telling us that their deal is getting finalized. So here we are. David Raya will complete a medical test as Arsenal player in the next 24 to 48 hours. Once again, that 48 hours thing, because they don't know exactly when it's going to happen. As documents are being prepared, the deal is sealed earlier this afternoon. It's done. Same thing basically as what we read earlier. So no real,
it's just formalities need to be done. That's it.
Yeah, no real update there. Let's talk about what Fabrizio said earlier today with Balogun. It seems to be Balogun and Inter. Balogun prefers Inter, as Inter, of course, are all in his story. Inter director Alonso says he's in talks with Arsenal for Flo Balogun. We want someone who can score. For sure, Balogun is one of the opportunities, but no, only one. We are not the only one we are tracking. Lukaku deal, I'm not interested. So they're no longer interested in the Lukaku deal. Balogun seems to be the front runner. All I have to say is, if you want Balogun, pay up. Pay up. Because in today's world, where Livramento is going for 40 million, Balogun should be going for more than that. I'm sorry. I get it that people are saying he's Premier League experienced, money's in the Premier League, not in Italy, not in others. I don't care. In today's world, when you have a striker who's 20-something years old, scoring 21 goals in the French league, and you're selling him, you should not be selling him for peanuts. He should be going for at least fair value. I get it that it's Arsenal selling him and we don't necessarily need him, and Inter don't have that kind of money, but it shouldn't be favors based on who's buying and selling. It should be, this is the market value. If you want him, come get him. If you don't want him, I'm sorry, we're not going to sell him to you below market value. That's just me.
There is something interesting though. So they had a media day, and Balogun's actually in some of these photos.
What?
Balogun's in, the Arsenal, they posted a media day today. And he's actually in. He's in some of the he's in one of the photos.
Can you send? Where is this, on Twitter?
No, it's on the Arsenal website. I'll send it in the private chat.
Okay. So yeah, we got a bunch of tweets today. Oh, did you see what Manchester United did? Did you see the Manchester United thing, the satanic thing?
No, I've not had time. Someone sent it to me, but I've not had time to watch it.
Manchester United was on a madness. Listen, we're gonna get into everything, guys. We still need to talk about what Jamie Carragher said and what Gary Neville said. So I'm gonna get into that in a second. Oh, did you see what Hussam said? Hussam basically said Bukayo Saka and Martinelli are not big game players. And I was like, what are you talking about, mate?
Oh, they say this every time. They say it every year.
Let me play it for you. So this was the clip.
I'm done hugging all of them and telling them they're young and exciting and potential and blah, blah, blah. Saka, rise up. Martinelli, rise up. All these players need to start rising up. They need to start delivering in big games. Speaking of big game players, they need to start delivering. Jesus, when he comes back, rise up. Trossard has risen up in more difficult moments for Arsenal than a lot of them have done. And no one speaks about this because they won the game yesterday. But I will speak about it. Because all the Martinelli hype, Saka.
I'm confused. I swear, Manchester United, Saka stepped up. Chelsea, I'm pretty sure Saka and Martinelli stepped up against Chelsea, home and away. When it comes to Man City, I get it. We lost against City all 3 times. It is what it is. But Liverpool, if I'm not mistaken, Saka scored, Jesus scored, and Martinelli scored against them, no? So it's like all these guys he's saying are not big game players.
It's a recency bias, man. You know what it is? I respect everyone on this panel, but this is where I hate when football content creators come into it, because the agendas in it, whatever gets clicks is what they want to say. Saka scored against every single one of the top 6 at some point in his career. Martinelli, same thing. You know, Gabriel Jesus, okay, yes, he's been injured for us, so we don't really know. We can't really comment too much on it because he's not had like a complete or a big part of the season yet. He was out for like 3-4 months, so I don't want to talk on Jesus. But when you talk about Martinelli and Saka, do you know what it is? They've got this recency bias of the last sort of 6 games where we bottled the league. And then obviously yesterday they didn't score and it was Trossard scored. That's why they're saying it. But other than that, they have stepped up. They are the main. Look at the United game. If it wasn't for Bukayo Saka, we don't win that game. Man City, the only one who scored in the 2-1 in January last, like 2 seasons ago, and even last season. So I don't really understand this. I don't get the agenda. I've never understood the agenda that Saka's not a big game player. It's, again, like I say, it's an agenda and it's stupidity. And it's simply the fact that you're exposing yourself to not watch football. That's like me, like, I don't get it. I really do want to question these people to why they think that and where they've got this from, because they do score against the top 6. So,
who's my guy? I'm going to be on his channel later today at 10 o'clock, but I'll tell you this. I fully adamantly disagree with him on that, and I'm saving that clip for when Saka or Martinelli score a goal to beat Liverpool this season. Let's wait. My guy here is saying, did we miss a gem on Cancelo Ramos to PSG? 65 million in today's market is a steal. I don't think we get him for 65 million if he comes to Arsenal. That's just me. What are you saying? You care?
No, that's his release clause. So it wouldn't have mattered. We could have.
Do you care that Ramos went to PSG and we missed out?
Nah, he's not the player I want. I don't think he's for us.
I don't think we want Ramos and Saliba in the same dressing room, if you get what I'm saying.
Oh, okay. I think I know what you're saying, yeah.
Listen, it is what it is. Oh, if you get it, you get it. But I never really looked at Ramos as that big signing. Like, let's be honest, Benfica do this every year. They get a player, they turn him into a big player, and then they sell him off. They did it with Darwin Núñez. They did it with him. Who did they do it with before Darwin Núñez?
Fabio Silva, and then it was João Felix before that.
Every year they do it. So I'm just keeping away from him, and no, I don't need him. I don't need Ramos in my team. I'm okay. I think people are just so obsessed with all these signings. Like Felix been a flop. Darwin Núñez kind of underwhelming. Ramos has heavy shoes to fill. Enzo, they sold him for a lot of money. Like, some of these players are really good players, don't get me wrong, but we don't have time for another player to embed. It's going to take time. People are laughing about my joke. It is what it is. It's just a joke, guys. Don't get too attached to that joke. Now, before we go any further, make sure you do hit that like button, because I'm watching the video right now and we're on 79 likes. We almost have 250 people in the video. We should at least be on at least 150 likes. Come on, what are we doing here? Also, if you didn't see, I did do my Premier League prediction video today. Go check it out. It's in after this video. Go check it out. I did do my own Premier League prediction video, so I'm going to be plugging that for the next couple of days. But did you see Mark Goldbridge's prediction?
Yeah, I've seen that video. That's jokes.
Let me show everyone who didn't see Mark Goldbridge's prediction for who Mark Goldbridge's prediction is to win the Champions League.
This is the clippable bit. Manchester United. Manchester United Champions League winners. I don't know why. It might be
that you're a Manchester United fan.
The Madrid, but it's just been in my head. It's been in my head for too long. I'm getting the words Manchester United Champions League. I don't even know why. It could be red tin.
I don't think there's any logical reason to think Manchester United is going to win the Champions League, bro. That's just me. What are you saying?
I mean, the only reason you say it's because they've got Champions League history is the only logic I can ever see them saying it with. But right now, the thing is,
big up Jay.
I don't know, man. Do you know what it is? Yeah, like
Let me give you the favorites.
I'm not even gonna say it's wild. You know,
These are the favorites to win the competition.
is this like betting odds? Is it?
Yeah.
I don't actually understand what any of this means, so you're gonna have to
basically 50% odds for City to win it, 7-1 odds for Bayern to win it. So every dollar you bet, you get 7. PSG, every dollar you bet, you get 9. Real Madrid, every dollar you get 10. Arsenal, every dollar you get 14. And then Newcastle, every dollar you get 20. So it's like, I don't know, man.
So they think United are less likely to win the Champions League than us. Okay, that's fair.
Iga, are your streams now about hating on other content creators? No, I'm just literally just trying to give you guys some content and talk about some of the other stuff that's going on, because I feel like just talking about transfers every day can get boring. Sometimes you want to switch it up, you want to mix it up a little bit, talk about some of this stuff also. But did you see what William Gallas also said? Oh, also, by the way, shout out Christopher Nkunku. He's out injured. Never going to be making fun of players' injuries on any platform. So I just want to say shout out to him. Hope he gets well soon. I know we make fun of Chelsea, but we don't make fun of injuries over here. So get well soon to Christopher Nkunku. I wanted to point out William Gallas. This was what William Gallas had to say. He was talking about Arsenal defender on the title race. He said, I'm sure Arsenal will be very close this season. I don't think they'll be crowned champions in May. I think Arsenal are missing characters and personality to become champions. Now, my thing is, number one, William Gallas has a lot to say about Arsenal, but he himself didn't have the character or the personality to get us over the line as a player. So it's very fitting that he's the one that always has something to say about Arsenal. But when it comes to Chelsea, I don't really see him say shit about Chelsea, his other former club, who's in a much worse state than us right now. So personally, for me, I would rather stay clear of this guy and his opinions going forward. What do you think?
You know what it is? I'm not even going to be that harsh on him. I do understand we need the personalities to actually stand up for once. So I do hear where he's coming from. I think it's a big season for us, and obviously, as Arsenal fans, we're going to believe the characters are there. We believe that they've overcome the barrier to win the Premier League or to win anything. They've learned from last season where the capitulation happened, but the proof's got to be in the pudding as well. We can't just sit here and dismiss what he's saying. When we did capitulate, we did completely fall off a 5 to 8 point lead of the Premier League. So it's on the players to show this, and I do think the resilience will be there. I do think the manager will be a lot more clearer on the ideas of how to motivate and incentivize them to go on and get it over the line. I don't think this season, if we can get a 5 to 8 point gap, that we would capitulate and we would actually go on to win it. So I'm not going to be harsh, but I do hear where he's coming from, but I do disagree.
Yo, big up to you, man. Someone here saying, Iga, question. Matt Turner is a good guy. Unfollowed Arsenal on Instagram on all platforms. It's just sad. He's only following Forest and is keen on signing him. Bro, did he really unfollow Arsenal? Who cares, man? He maybe he's butthurt that we're selling him, but at the end of the day, he did show pictures of him being an Arsenal player. And if he ever comes back to the club, he's not going to be looked at as somebody who's a snake or anything like that. It'd just be like, oh, he used to play for us. You know what I mean? I think he was a marketing signing personally to get Americans to jump on the bandwagon. How many signings do you think will get done before the window ends? One more signing, and that might be Kudus. Do you want to talk about Kudus quickly?
We can do.
Do you think it will happen?
I think we need to get some outgoings before anything like Kudus would happen. I do see us selling Balogun, Tierney, and Holding as the three outgoings before we bring someone else in. I think David raised the final signing of the transfer window in a sense of if we can't get the outgoings out. If the bid for 50 million does come in for Balogun, then yeah, I think Kudus. But it depends though, because if he signs for Brighton before we can get Balogun out the door, then I don't think anything will happen.
Dortmund might actually come in for him. Arsenal are linked to some attacking players. I think if we're linked to anybody, it might be Ivan Toney in January. And even him, I don't think he's the end product of who we want at striker going forward. But guess what? He's also linked to Dortmund.
Interesting.
So
That'd be a good move.
Brighton might lose him, as it's understood that he's still deciding if he wants to go to Brighton or not, and he might end up at Dortmund. So we'll have to wait and see what happens with that. That's another interesting development at this moment in time that people are not thinking about. I need to see what happens there. Let's get into what Gary Neville had to say. Did you see what Gary Neville said?
Yeah, but I won't spoil it. But I did hear it.
And never winning the 4.
If you want to put the volume up a little bit.
Okay. So Gary Neville was asked, what does he think, who's going to win the league this season? And this is what he had to say. And personally for me, what happened with Batoli? I don't know. It's gone quiet with the Batoli links. I haven't heard anything about him in a long time, actually. I haven't heard anything about him. So we're going to have to wait and see what happens with that one. But let's just hear what Gary Neville had to say, because this was annoying.
Because of the 3 thing and never winning the 4, I am going to go Arsenal to win the league.
Whoa.
So him going Arsenal to win the league is, to me, showing his ass, because he said Manchester United were going to finish above us last season. Hence, he believed Manchester United were better than us last season. And for him now to do a 360 and pick Arsenal over City just goes to show you that he was talking absolute bullshit last year. And he didn't actually believe that Manchester United were going to finish above Arsenal. He was just saying it to piss people off. And now that he's done a 360 and he's saying Arsenal are going to win it, it just to me, it validates my opinion on what he was doing last year. And he was just trying to wind us up.
Nah, that's one part of his debate. You can't do that. He did call it. Like, I'm not even going to hate on the guy. He absolutely called what was going to happen. He said we were going to capitulate, and we did capitulate. As much as we don't want to say it and admit it as a fan base, we capitulated. And he called this happening. He said that the only reason we wouldn't win it and Man City would win is because we don't have the experience to go and do it. Now, the angle that he's coming from is that 4 in a row hasn't happened before, and the feat to do it is huge. And also, when you look at Man City, the logic probably is that Man City haven't strengthened enough to take on, and Arsenal have done enough business to cover those areas. Because we know William Saliba coming out was, the reason why we didn't win the league. So if we got Urian Timbers in that place or Ben White in that place, it might be a different season last season. But obviously we didn't have that. So we have covered those positions, and it's made it 10 times harder for Man City to go and do the 4P. So I can't hate on Gary Neville. I did hate on him, but I did say at the end of the day, he's a United pundit. He has a point of view. He's always going to have it. And I actually prefer people like Neville, because back your team, man. That's your team. United is your team. I don't want you loving Arsenal. I don't want you backing Arsenal. I'd rather you talk shit about us. So I that's just me, though.
You know what? 1 second, one touch. I think it's a situation where it's basically like he could have been right, but it's easy to pick Man City over Arsenal from any position, where what he's doing now is he's putting his balls on the line. So I got to give him some credit. So let's watch the rest of the clip.
Jump this plane, gone to America. Now, I don't know anything about managing West Ham, but I'm in.
I think there's music playing in the background, so I got to be careful. Yeah, that's it. There's nothing else in the clip to really point out, but it is what it is. When it comes to the Gary Neville thing, he's predicting Arsenal are going to win it now. It is what it is. I think it's a gimmick. I think it's a gimmick to try to get reaction out of us again. I don't think he's serious. I think in a couple months' time, he's going to change his mind at the first opportunity he gets. What are you saying?
What was that again? Sorry.
Gary Neville will have the first opportunity he gets to change his mind. He'll change his mind. But you know what? I agree. I agree with you to a certain point. You do have to give him credit, because he did get it right. Now, I'm not going to sit here and get on to other fan bases, because I see Liverpool fans saying we're copying Pep's back 4. What do you think about that?
Because we did it first. We actually did it first, by the way. I don't get this copying, because against Liverpool, when we beat them 3-2, guess what we did? We played 4 centre-backs.
Exactly. So, it's just
agendas, bro. Agendas. People don't watch football. It's like people who say this. I automatically go, you know what? You don't watch the Premier League. You just watch your team, and then you watch Match of the Day. You don't analyze these things, because if you truly did, before Pep even thought about doing it, Arteta already beat Liverpool.
Okay. And moving on to the final topic of the day. Big up everyone in the comment section. People saying Ansu Fati. Are we linked to Ansu Fati?
So the situation with Ansu Fati is, so for them to be able to register Neymar, they need to make an outgoing such as a.
Barca's gonna get Neymar?
Yeah, so PSG has offered Neymar to Barcelona in return for like the Dembele situation. So for that to happen, what Barcelona needs to be able to do is offload one of Rafinha or Ansu Fati or a type like that. Right? Yes, or the left.
Okay. Is he?
By the way, if he comes, phenomenal. Like, he is sensational. Like, only problem is he's been injured. Like, it was similar to Martinelli's situation.
Is he better than Martinelli, Saka, or Trossard?
If he can get fit, he can be just as good or better.
Wow.
But the only problem he's had is that the same kind of injury length of Martinelli, like he was out for a season, came back. He was in and out last season because of the injury he got. But other than that, I can tell you now, this guy is a certified baller. Like, he is sensationally good.
So what are we saying? Ansu Fati to Arsenal?
I would like it. I would really like it. But
what are we saying, people?
I don't think he'll leave, though.
What are we saying? Ansu Fati to Arsenal, yes or no? I'm asking you. You're the Barcelona guy.
What, do you think is going to happen, or do I want it to happen?
Would you take him?
Oh, 100%.
How much would he cost?
If a bit, but this is where it gets a bit techy, because he doesn't want to leave and they don't want him to go. So the reality is, if we were to sign him, we could probably tempt him with 40 million, 50 million.
40, 50 million?
Yeah, but don't forget, both the club and the player don't want to leave. Like, they're not in desperate need to get rid of him, but they might.
Where did these links come from? So basically, because of the financial situation.
Not necessarily the financial situation, but it's because they need to offload a player if they want to bring Neymar in. So Ansu Fati is the most viable player to get rid of, just because he hasn't been featuring for them. So, like, it is one of those ones where they put like 2 and 3 pieces together and made it into Arsenal being linked to them. But I don't think he's actually for sale. But it is a player we've admired for a long time.
I want to know what people think. This is interesting. Let's see what people think from there. And then let's get into the final topic of the day. Jamie Carragher. Now Jamie Carragher, I feel like once again this is an annoying hit piece on Arteta. So Jamie Carragher basically talking about the new rules on the touchline. And he said, although it was interesting yesterday to watch the game, he's basically talking about how Arteta was wound up on the side of the pitch after 10 minutes. And then he went on to go talk about the passion that Klopp shows and how he loves when he's involved. But it's just 10 minutes into the Community Shield, and he thinks that yellow card because yesterday someone because he wanted someone to get booked. I thought, wow, he is that incensed this early in the season. It's going to be a long season. Now, I find it kind of hypocritical that he said Mikel Arteta is wound up, and that when referring to Klopp, he referred to him as passionate and loves how he's involved in the game. I guess it's just who you support, because from my perspective, this rule change took place because of Klopp. This rule change took place because of how incisive and how aggressive he was to the referees, and the fact that he would always leave his box. Yes, Mikel Arteta is also a part to blame because he was one of those people, but there's a lot of managers who's done that. And if I'm not mistaken, Klopp was one of the managers who, during a game, chest bumped his goalkeeper after a goal. So this is kind of the pot calling the kettle black. And although I hear his points about Mikel Arteta kind of going crazy during the game, was it that crazy in comparison to what other managers have done in the past?
This is the issue, though. Like, because Arteta was the first manager to be in this ruling, it's why you're getting responses like this. I don't think it's that deep. I don't think he's saying anything outrageous. I do get where he's coming from. Like what he's saying is basically what Arteta did. Like even for like someone like a Jurgen Klopp, he is saying they're passion merchants in a sense. Like they are passionate. They are like very involved in the game, and that's what's going to cause it to be a long season. If they're giving yellow cards out for things like that, then there's going to, and it's already happened. And what he's trying to say is within 10 minutes of the game. Like not you get a warning and then if you do it again, okay, we'll book you. No, 10 minutes straight yellow card. That's going to cause it to be a very long season. You're going to see and also there's a new rule where if a manager has a ban, they can't even sit in the stands. They can't be involved. They have to be in the dressing room. They can't watch the game live like that. So that's gonna be an interesting factor to the season as well. So I don't know. I think we'll see how the season goes. I reckon this will be a rule that gets changed.
You think it gets changed? Hello, you there?
I don't see how they keep this for a season because you've got all the top managers do it. Pep does it as well. Klopp does it. Ten Hag to a degree does it. Whether they do it to the scale that we've seen Arteta do it doesn't really matter. The point is, if you do it, you're gonna get booked. So you're gonna see too many yellow cards, and you're gonna see like a sort of union being formed to actually change this.
What happened to Bitola? Somebody was saying Bitola. What happened to him? I haven't really seen anything about him.
To who?
That kid, the Brazilian kid that we're linked to. Bitola or Bitola or whatever his name was.
That I don't know. I heard we were linked to him and that's it.
It's annoying. We'll figure it out. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. I don't think there's anything else to talk about. We'll be back tomorrow, hopefully. I'm going to have Hussam on. I'm going to have Alan on. Souls, if you want to jump on, you can jump on. It's like sort of a Premier League prediction show. Big up, everyone. Igal, you have what?
Igal, look at the thing I sent you in the chat. You need to show that.
Where is it?
I put it in the private chat.
What is it? Media Day?
Yeah. If you go into the second photo, that's what they want to see.
Okay, let's go check it out. Arsenal Media Day. Oh yeah, I love these photos. These photos are always the best. So Mikel Arteta, Balogun's in there. Is that what it is?
Yeah. That when we start speaking about Balogun, like obviously it's a media day in it, so like.
He's in there just in case he's staying. Fabio Vieira. That's creepy. Captain.
Yeah, that backdrop is too good, man. I actually love these backdrops.
Yeah, it's just different Arsenal flags. Oh, does that say Pride of London?
Where? Oh, it does.
Shots fired at Chelsea. And White. Why is there a paper? I love these pictures.
Oh, I think I know why they do that. When they then go through the reel, they know it's Havertz and then it's like Ben White, and then it's this. So they know beforehand like whose pictures are going to come up.
Win. There's the dog.
Yeah, I'd be scared of the Labradoodle. I hate dogs, man. I don't know, man. They put me on edge.
Yeah, I would be scared of dogs too. Anyways, that's it for today, guys. Do me a favor. Go check out my boy Conley's channel. He's going to be going live right now. And make sure once you enter that video, after the video, let him know Igal sent you. Let him know Igal sent you. Join the stream. Let him know Igal sent you. Peace out, guys. We're out of here. Done now.